Hey guys, thanks so much for tuning into today's episode. We are going to be talking about something that I think is so relevant, especially in the day and the economy and the market that we're in today. And it's a quote by the great Wayne Gretzky. And the quote is skate to where the puck is going to be, not to where the puck has been. And I feel that what happens in business and life is we get so deeply ingrained into the daily grind and the hustle and running around and getting home late, having to wake up early, and just feeling like every single day is so stacked that what happens is we stop to take a second to look back and to think about the bigger picture. We stop to think about what is our life going to look like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, and really, what are we doing to create a vision and create a plan of action in order to get there? I think that the most miserable existence is to continue to live the same life, the same year, the same month, and the same day over and over again, especially in the current times that we're in. Nothing is getting cheaper. You have to make more money. You have to build businesses. You have to build a bigger life. Well, let me take all this back. You don't have to do anything. But what I'm here to tell you is that life begins to get so much more enjoyable when you know that you are on a path to financial freedom. You're on a path to wealth building, and you're on a path to really change the generational tree. I think that the opportunity gets even bigger in a market where there's so much fear and there's so much uncertainty. Uncertainty can drive people insane. What I find though is that the people that are most certain have the self belief and the self discipline to stay on the path because they know what they're doing, where they're going, and how they're going to get there. And let's talk a little bit more about that. Not everybody knows the direction that they're going or the exact path that they're going to take. And look, guys, from time to time, the path is going to change. You may think that you may have been retired in the next 15 years, or you may have think that you were going to be in real estate for your entire career or mortgage, or you were going to own a certain business. But guess what? Things change. So there's times in life where we need to be adaptable. We need to pivot. And just because we have that belief of where we're going and how we're going to get there, everything starts to just kind of level off because no matter what, you always have something to refer back to. This is especially why I think it's critical to document your journey. So, myself, I've talked about this a lot, but I do a lot of journaling. I think my wife probably tells me I do too much journaling, but it's all working out. So, I love to journal in the morning. Okay. I journal about my goals, I journal about my affirmations, I journal about the future vision, I journal about what I'm grateful for, I journal about what made me happy. And what I find is that on tough days, on tough weeks, on tough months, when you feel like you're just getting kicked in the face, you're able to reflect back. And I think the really special thing about starting a habit like this is you're able to reflect back on last year, the year before, 5 years ago, and see how far that you've come. So currently, with fear being so rampant in the residential real estate world, there's been a bunch of shakeups with the major lawsuit that's still panning out. And what's going on is that so many people are taking their eye off of their job at hand. Your job at hand is to protect your mindset at all costs, is to really stay focused on where you're going and how you're going to get there. So I feel like the conversation that needs to be had about looking to where the puck is going to be instead of just chasing where it was before is we have to stay focused. We also have to continue to expand our minds. So, one of my business mentors recently challenged me this week, and he asked me a very pointed question about the current changes in the market, what's going on in the economy, etc. And the question was, if you were Elon Musk, or if you were Steve Jobs, or if you were another visionary, whoever that visionary is for you, whoever you really respect for what they've done, respect for what they've built, how would you be thinking about what are you going to do in the next 3 to 5 years, especially given the current business that you're in? Or how would you be thinking about, okay, if this happens, what do I do? Or if I see this coming down the train tracks, how do I make sure to get over to the other track and watch as everybody else gets rolled out? And for me, this is how I live my life. So I'm always focused on, where are we going to be? What are we going to have to change? And who are we going to have to become in order to get to where we want to go? And you really need to think like a disruptor, guys. You need to think about disruption. You need to think about expansion. You need to think about leverage. You need to think about, what are you going to do to continue to get ahead of your competitors? Because there's when I think of a quote, especially about leverage and especially about your competitors, I'm always reminded of a statement or a saying that the market share that you take in a down market, you never give back. So think about that for a second. While there's people that are running scared, while there's people that are retreating, that are looking to just bail out on everything completely, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, but I think it's great for people like myself, people that are in my world, people that are in our companies, because all we're going to do is we're going to continue to win. So really start to think about that. How are you going to take market share? How are you going to become a disruptor? And what are you going to do to put yourself in an incredible position to win? Now, I think that one of the biggest things that you need to focus on is accumulation of assets, okay? They're talking now again about it, a couple more rate cuts, maybe 2 or 3 rate cuts. All that's going to do is continue to drive up the prices of real estate. We're at an all-time high for the median sales price. What I think is that in the future, home ownership and people that own investment properties are going to be looked at as the uber wealthy, the people that actually own assets. Guys, rent's just getting crazier and crazier. If you're still renting, it's time to put a plan in place to become an owner of something. And I don't care what it takes. It can be a partnership. It can be a joint venture. It can be you ask somebody to borrow money. It can be any number of things. Hell, get a second job, get a third job. Especially the people out there that don't have a family right now. I think it's absolute insanity if you're not working your face off in order to get ahead in the current world and the current economy that we're in. One other thing that you really need to realize as you start to change your frame of thinking and you start to focus on how are you going to get to where the puck's going to go, is that not everyone is going to like the direction that you're headed. Not everyone is going to agree with what you're doing. And I'm here to say that that is okay. That's what disruption is all about. I've made some crazy pivots in business. I've made some very, what I would call calculated risk decisions. I have some upcoming really awesome announcements that we're going to be making, some more expansion, a couple more business opportunities that are coming. And I can't wait to share them with the people that are in my networks. But I will tell you, there's going to be people that think that I'm crazy. There's going to be people that think that you're crazy. All you need to focus on is yourself, your family, and what are you doing to build a bigger life. You also need to realize that sometimes you need to cut out the past to really focus on the future. So whether that's self-limiting beliefs, whether that's habits, whether that's old partnerships, whether that's just not the right people that are around you, if you really want to build a big life and build a big business, you're going to have to leave something behind. Maybe it's just the old version of yourself. Maybe you just need to be in a spot to where it's a new version of you. We talk about recreation all the time. I love recreation. I feel like we need to constantly be recreating ourselves, reinventing ourselves, and pushing ourselves to become a better version of who we are. Our generation is going to live so much longer than the previous generation. My son's generation is going to live probably twice as long, or at least 1.5 times as long as the previous generation. We need to expand. We need to think bigger. Because you know what, guys? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be 90 still taking phone calls 6-7 days a week and having to live in so much chaos, stress, whatever you want to call it, that comes with the journey of business ownership and scaling companies and really getting to a point of full financial freedom. So what I really want to encourage you guys to do is do a self-audit. Do a self-audit of your current net worth. Do a self-audit of what do you own currently. Do a self-audit of your passive income. Do a self-audit of your self-belief, your confidence, your desire, your inability or your ability to really make quick decisions, make calculated decisions, and also your risk tolerance. Life, I think, is all about doing a self-audit. The only way that we're going to change internally is if we're forced to change or if we force ourselves to change and really get to a point of a new creation, a new being. So the other opportunities that I think that we're going to continue to see in the current market that we're in and beyond is off-market investing is going to continue to be one of the golden gooses in terms of your overall strategy. I think the people that are direct to seller, the people that are reaching out to those that may be underwater, maybe they're going through a divorce, maybe the house, the property, etc. is in shambles. Whatever the case may be, you need to find a way to get in between yourself and the completion of that transaction. You need to get in the middle. So especially if you're listening to this right now and you're a solo practitioner, you're a solo realtor, and you're not sure what to do to get more opportunities coming, you're freaked out about the changes that may be coming down the pipeline, my suggestion is to do what we've discussed before, and that's to embrace and embody the idea of a hybrid agent, somebody that can still service sellers, still service buyers, but also put yourself in a position to be able to buy off-market property. The next is development in high net worth areas. So I know people currently that are developing all the way from Maine to Florida and then also in the Caribbean. And I think that especially the wealthy, the business owners, the uber wealthy, they are much less susceptible to really dramatic change because inflation's a little bit higher or, interest rates, etc. So I think that there's nothing that's stopping you from developing a piece of land, from putting together a deal, from building a 16 unit from the ground up, from building a couple of new constructions and making a few $100,000. Like, you need to think differently if you don't like where you currently are, or if you don't like what's coming or what may be coming in the coming months and years. What I like to do is I like to look at my business and my life from like a pinwheel perspective. And I like to look at what's coming from here, what's coming from there, and then really where's the opportunity to 10x something. So that's the way that I would also suggest that you begin to analyze this is what are going to be the different pieces of pie in order to get you to where you really want to go in your ultimate wealth building journey. The next is for those that are in the brokerage world, the brokerage owner world, you've got to get on the other side of ownership and ancillaries, whether it's title, whether it's insurance, whether it's life insurance, whether it's transaction services, whatever the case may be, you need to get on the other side of that and make sure that for all the hard work and all the effort that you're putting in, you're getting paid from multiple avenues. And then another thing that we're going to talk more about in the coming weeks and the coming months is what are some other opportunities to be able to make you more income on a passive level that doesn't have an incredible amount of risk, but it's really something that can be on autopilot. And for me, I've recently found e-com. So I love e-com. I love that as a bolt-on to our overall global business picture here. And I'm just so excited to see where it's going to be going. So that's it for today, guys. We do have some more exciting announcements coming for the podcast. We are going to be doing a rebrand, and we're going to be changing up the name. I want to reach a bigger audience, and I really want to help to impact more and more lives. So please continue to share these episodes. Please continue to like it. And thank you so much for tuning in.